really in the end. I'm a football fan, and you know, that's just, you know, I was brought up a football fan. My granddad played for Palace and Fulham, and my cousin played for Millwall and Portsmouth, Brighton, sorry. And so we're a football family. So, and right now, I think we've got a great squad. I think we've got a great team spirit. I think we've got a great management staff. Don't tell him that too much. And I think we're exciting to watch. I have to say, I think Saturday was a prime example of it. Was, you know, when Ricky gets the ball and starts running at people, it's decent. But the one thing I will say, we're only halfway in this season. One of the first things that I said to them when I met the players, when we took over, the day we took over, one of the first things I said to Chris and one of the first things I said to the players and the staff is that you've done, during this whole time of the takeover and all that kerfuffle, you were fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And you as fans were as well. But the moment we took over, we could not take our foot off the pedal. Because that would have been easy. And it would have been natural to do it. Well, we're okay now. We're going to get our wages paid. Great. We're okay. We can't do that. It's a long season. No way. So that's why I think it's more hard work to come. And then moving on from that, transfer window. You know, it is an exciting time. As much as a lot of the purists don't love the whole way Sky Sports have absolutely taken it to another level. Yeah. We all kind of get excited about it, and we all will be, you know, checking Twitter and Facebook and watching Sky Sports, etc. Because it's, you know, it's interesting. Ashley Cole going to Coventry. Yeah, that's interesting. Joe Cole, sorry. I saw Ashley Cole. Didn't Ashley Cole sign today? Right, okay. I might have got that wrong, mate. Sorry. I was busy. One of the things we learned, and through experience, and experience with Chris as well, is it's at the time, this is a time to add to if you're going to add to the squad, it's got to be quality. I think in previous years we've not had maybe the resources, and in previous years we'd added bodies or players that would come underneath, and so we had to add quality, and we had to add players that would potentially knock, or at least if they needed to go in, they would go in and be as good as, if not better than what we had. And I think we did that with James. In terms of, you know, any signing is, you're up in the air on any signing. You never know. You're not going to get everyone right. But one thing about James is he's done it. He's got a good attitude. Captain, I still don't understand why Shuji let him go, but we'll take that. But he scored goals, and he's, you know, I'm not saying he's better than Rico. I don't know that, but he's up there. And if Rico does get injured, and again, Chris's experience last year is that if Rico does get injured, I think we've got someone there that can go in. We'll only possibly add one more, possibly. It's not essential, but there is another area of the field that Chris thinks we might need one more. But again, got to be the right player. Got to be the right player, because you can't. The squad dynamic is great, and if you bring the wrong player into that dynamic, it can mess it up. So, and this will be good news for some people. Okay, we don't need to sell anyone or let anyone go. You know, the reality is we've got a good squad. You know, we've always said from the very start that we're going to run this football club on a sensible basis. If somebody came in with a massive offer for Adam, you've got to understand that, and not just from our perspective, from Adam's perspective, if Man United come in for Adam, for example, what are you going to do? Realistically. All right, so we're going to go, we'll turn it down. What's Adam going to do? Oh, he says, oh, that sounds like a really good idea. And Adam's a great kid. He's a fantastic kid, and he would want to stay, but he's not going to. There's realism to all of this, and the goalkeeper's a great position, because we've got, you know, I think we've got two of the best goalkeepers in the league with Clarkey, and I know Clarkey. I know what Clarkey can do. except when he drops in at Wembley in the but we don't, you know, you see it, don't get, you know, I had a lot of social media stuff about, you know, don't get carried away with rumours. The one thing social media has done for us is create rumour mills, like, ridiculously. And we're not going to react to them, we're not going to, you know, Chris in fact has been associated to every job going. And I've had calls from the media saying, "Are you going to give him a new contract?" Well, no, because what he's on is a rolling contract. You may not know that, but he's on a rolling contract. So there's no need to give him a new contract because he's got a contract that just carries on. There's no end date to Chris's contract. So I'm not going to sit down every time a club comes in and says, you know, Chris was offered a job a week and a half before we took over. A decent job, and he turned it down. So I'm not worried about, you know, but again, you know, everyone's ambitious. Man United come in for Chris, so they might do it. But we're not under, and one of the things we won't do is we won't sell players cheaply. We won't. We will ensure that if momentum takes us in a certain direction with players, that we'll get best value for them. Because we've got to back ourselves also to reinvest. There's a reason why this squad is as good as it is. Because Chris has got the right players in. Well, that's going to happen again. It just doesn't happen once. It happens again and again and again. So we're definitely not looking to offload anyone. Will it happen? At some point, yes. You know, every selling club. Who's not a selling club? You know, name me a club that's not a selling club. Man United sold Cristiano Ronaldo, best player in the world. Why? Because Cristiano Ronaldo wanted to play for Real Madrid. Simple as that. So it will happen, and at some point it will happen. I'd be surprised if anything happens in January. It might happen in the summer. It might not happen at all. But it has to be on realistic terms, and it has to be on terms that benefit Northampton Town Football Club, and that's the key. So. And moving on from that, kind of a good segue into recruitment. Another critical area of the club. I have to give Chris credit and Nilly credit and Muggs credit for the goalkeeping side. They're the one, you know, we were shocked. No existing structure in place. No scout, no head of recruitment, nothing. So poor Chris is slapping up and down the country looking at players while he's trying to get the team prepared, really. So that's, you know, that surprised us. So that's one of the first things that we looked to do. So we appointed John Dreyer as interim head coach of recruitment. Now this is kind of an announcement. We've not actually put this out yet. So, you know, this is almost an exclusive. I thought I'd save it a little bit. But John is known to it. John has come in, and John's an experienced guy in football. And he's just going to come. He's coming in to help us now. You know, at the moment, kind of probably, you know, our agreement with John is to the end of the season. So, but it's something that we want to develop with John and see how far we can go. Because in my eyes, recruitment and as from a club perspective, recruitment has become so important, not just for the first team, but for the academy teams, for the under 21 side development squad that we don't have right now, but hopefully we will. You know, and his role is to help Chris and take the pressure off Chris a little bit to go out and look at players and identify players and build the lists. Because the reality is, you're not going to get your first choice. You're not going to get your first choice every time. So what happens, and going back a little bit to the transfer window, one of the things we've agreed with Chris is that we'll have money available if somebody gets injured. You know, later on, if we have to, the situation forces us to get players in. But you know, if we would be tremendously unlucky, we'd be tremendously unlucky. But what happened if Sam, Rico, and Collins got all injured in one game? It would be like Liverpool. But sorry. But you know, so we would need to have that ability. But we need someone like John to have a list of 5 centre forwards that we can go and try and get. in that situation. Left back, right back, list 5, 6, 7 players that we targets and using, and again, scouting's changed in my eyes and recruitment's changed because it's not about going to watch players as much now. It's about having the contacts. It's being able to pick up the phone. It's being able to pick up the phone to a Premiership club, a Championship club. Who you got available? Who you let us have? That sort of conversation. We didn't scout James, but it was a conversation that was had that suddenly he became available. And you jump on those kind of opportunities. But it's not like we had a scout watching him because we never thought he'd be available. So, and further, killing me. I'll have to not thank Fabtronic now. Further developments in the medium to longer term to include an expanded scouting system and the U21 development squad.